up, everybody? My name's Parasite. Welcome back to the Jose Mourinho Challenge with Sporting. Today we won't be playing any games because last episode we ended the season. And we did it pretty well. We ended it by winning the league and doing it unbeaten. So, the best league season since I've been here. Unfortunately, every single other competition a little bit disappointing. We did make it to the semifinal of the Liga Portugal, but we lost over the two legs to Boa Vista, which is really frustrating considering we were the much better team over both legs. And then obviously the Champions League. We made it to the semifinal last year, and we got knocked out in the first knockout round this year. Extremely disappointing. It was against Bayern Munich, but we should have been better. And we weren't. We were awful. And considering that we really gave Liverpool a game, we should have done so much better against that Bayern Munich team that, when I looked at, wasn't super star-studded. We should have been better, but we weren't. So we're going to have to be better this offseason. We're going to have to bring in some good players and, find a way to strengthen this team because I want to win that competition, obviously. And if we're just getting destroyed by Bayern Munich in the first knockout round, that's never going to happen. So we're going to have to make changes. So this episode, we're going to go over the season review. We're going to go look through the Champions League stats, see who didn't carry their weight, and then just take a look at the squad, see where we need improvement, see what it's going to look like going into next season. So starting with the season review, obviously we won 3 trophies. The Liga Portugal being the best of the 3. The other 2, the Allianz Cup and the Super Taka. So don't put a lot of emphasis into those, but to win the league after losing it pretty disappointingly last season, it's good to see. We've won it 3 of our 4 years here. Now the new arrivals. I feel like our signings did pretty well. So the one that actually played the best was the region we brought in for quite a bit of money, but he's really good. He's 4th on the next-gen list. 18-year-old Oscar Gonzalez. He made 2 starts and 2 sub appearances. Got a hat trick. So, 3 goals. Seems pretty good, but it was all in one game. Did get an assist as well. Karnasteki, who came in as a backup goalkeeper with Van der Voort leaving. I thought he was fine. Played mostly just cup matches. Seemed to play pretty well. So, with how cheap he was, he's literally just as good as Van der Voort was. So, I think that's a fine signing. Romagnoli came in on loan. I think that was a really good signing for us. 20 appearances, 3 starts, or 20 starts, 3 sub appearances. Got 5 goals, which is actually pretty good. I think it might be more than Ignacio even got. And 2 assists, 7.3 average rating. Cincy was the midfielder that came in, try to be that third option that could really push both Pedro Gonzalez and Mateus Nunez. He's very good at both roles. And he did all right this season. 6 goals, 2 assists, 23 starts, 8 sub appearances in all competitions. 10 million might be a little much to spend for a 30-year-old, but if we're going to get quality, especially that can be that good of a player for us, that's kind of what we're going to have to pay for him. So, the starting goalkeeper we signed this year, with Hugo Souza leaving for $50 million, we brought in Ivan Nevistic, who played pretty well. $23 million, so we made a hefty profit, 40 starts, and 7.05 average rating. And he was like the best goalkeeper in the league. I'm curious to see how he did in the Champions League. But I feel like he did pretty well there too. I was pretty happy with Ivan Nevistic. And finally, the last one that I really care about, Lazare never really played, or he didn't play. He really brought him in because we thought we might be needing a third goalkeeper, and that ended up not being the case. So he never played. He was a cheap deal though, so we'll be able to sell him on for a profit. If not, we didn't lose much. But Ethan Ampadu, a January transfer window signing, $8.75 million. We lost Caceres, obviously. We sold him, so we needed to replace him. Ampadu, I thought did all right. 1 goal, penalty. 4 starts, 3 sub appearances, 6.98. I think he was fine. I think it's fine for what we needed. Transfers out, obviously the big one. It's going to be pretty far down this list because he did not have a good season. But Van der Voort did go out. He played a lot for Sheffield United, who are in the championship. Played really well for them, so good for him. But, yeah, he was unhappy. He's been unhappy basically his entire time here. I was happy to let him go. Randall Colomwani left for some pretty decent money, $6.5 million. He did all right for Genoa. 3 goals, 3 assists, in only 9 appearances. I'm assuming all starts. That's pretty good, but he was just really far in the depth chart here. Quaresma left on a free. Just the youngster that played a lot for Ipswich Town, who I'm not sure if are they League 1 or Championship? They're Championship. So he's playing at a pretty high level, and he seemed to be doing all right. 7.03 average rating. Pedro Mendes left for Sunderland for $1.5 million. Did all right for them. 10 starts, 7 goals. Segovia, another player left to Sunderland, $1.5 million. 6.92. So they did all right. These teams, they're not Champions League winning caliber. So I don't mind shipping them out, bringing in better players. We've got regions that are better than them. Caceres, we talked about earlier, he left for $17 million. Made 9 starts for West Ham. 6.84. Did all right. Really better than what he did here. in the past couple of years as a backup. And then the big one, and also probably the best business we've done in our time here, $50 million for Hugo Souza, a dude we snatched from Brazil for like, what, $4 million? Something like that? $4.5 million. And, 3 seasons later, we sell him for 50, and he was not very good for Burnley in the Premier League. Made 37 starts and averaged a 6.62. So, yeah, I think we did well to get rid of him. He wasn't very good in his first full season at the club, in the league at least. He was good in the Champions League, but he was awful in the league. And he's awful in the Premier League as well, apparently. Loan outs, the most important one really, Burak Ince. He left to go to PAOK, played a lot for them, and played really well. So good to see him playing well. I'm not sure if he'll be around the first team next year. We've got a lot of very good midfielders, so yeah, might loan him out again. We'll see. Other than that, Simão Suarez left to the first division, same division we're in, more Ince. 20-year-old center back, can play defensive midfield, can play center mid. Made 12 starts for them, didn't play particularly well, but you know what? For a region playing in the top division in Portugal, not bad. Same thing for João Corral. He is also loaned out to Boa Vista. 12 starts, not very good. But, again, he's a guy for the future. Bruno Thiago, another good, high potential striker. One actually developed by the club. He went out to Tondela in the second division. 30 starts, 16 goals. Not bad. And his development's really kicked on since he went out on loan. He hadn't really developed at all since he's been at the club, but as soon as we loaned him out, his development shot up. So that's good to see. Season results, they want us to win it, which I'm pretty sure preseason they didn't want us to win it. They want us to get Champions League. But we went ahead and won it. Benjamin Sesko, the top goal scorer, 28 goals. He was fantastic. We end up being 3 points ahead of Benfica, and Porto finished 4th. And only get Europa Conference League. That's very disappointing for Porto. Obviously, there's no Europa League spots anymore, which is kind of dumb. Teams relegated Chaves and Farense, and Santa Clara relegation playoff. I don't know if those have been played yet, but Guimarães and Braga, the other team in the top 5. Belenenses finished 7th. Rio Ave, who got in the top 6 in the past couple of years, finished 8th. And no real surprises, really. And the results, obviously unbeaten, so that's a pretty good thing that's nice to look at. Champions League, they want us to reach the first knockout round, so we did what the board expected, but we didn't do what I expected. I wanted to at least get to the quarterfinals, and we couldn't even do that. Our top goal scorer was Alexander Sorloth with 6. Obviously, we were knocked out by Bayern Munich. Didn't have a super easy run-in. Obviously, we had to play through the qualifiers at first, which we're not going to have to do next year, so that's nice. But a group of Manchester United, Betis, and Olympiacos. Obviously, Manchester United are ridiculous. I think they got to the semifinal. I think they got knocked out in the semifinal. And, yeah, they beat us to top the group. And then we got Bayern Munich, and we're awful. So, let's actually look. Did Manchester... I'm pretty sure they got to the semifinal. No, they're actually in the final. They beat Tottenham in the semifinal. Yeah, if you want to know... I've said it before. Premier League teams are overpowered. If you want to confirm that, that's the semifinal of the Champions League. See a trend? Yeah. English teams are far too good in this game. Quarterfinal, it's, Bayern, PSG, Benfica actually got to the quarterfinal, which is kind of annoying. Real Madrid, and all the English teams got through. And it's going to be Manchester United and Liverpool for the second consecutive season in the final. Obviously, Liverpool won it last year, 4-3 over Man United. And they're playing again this year. This Manchester United squad is still strong, but a lot of the players that are starting are still original Manchester United players. They just very recently bought Onana, but Bissaka's starting, he's on 325k a week. That is gross. Maguire is starting at 33. The midfield is pretty different. Bellingham and Frankie de Jong in there, but Bruno Fernandes is in there, Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood. So it's not like it's just a completely different squad. It's just like the day one Manchester United squad is just far too good for how it should be. But they're in the final. If we get back to the... How do I get back to the season review? All right, let's get back. Okay, next. Actually, no. I want to go back to the Taça de Portugal. Obviously, we got knocked out in the semifinal. The board wants us to reach the final, so they're a little bit disappointed. But, we were just bad. We were good, but we just couldn't score. Simple as that. Allianz Cup, they didn't care. Of course, the one we win, they don't care about. We won it. No one with more than a goal in the competition. We had to beat Porto to get there. And Super Taco, we played Benfica. First game of the season. beat him 1-0 on a last-minute goal by Alexander Sorloth. Moments to remember. Okay. Biggest win was an 8-1 win over Kovadapideti, the lower division side. Still, no, that's not how it's pronounced. Still, don't care. But yeah, a bunch of regions in there, and we scored 8 goals. That was really good. The match to remember, the Champions League 6-1 win over Betis. I'd agree with that. That was an absolute thrashing. That was a very good match. Betis are not bad, so to win 6-1, pretty impressive. Goal of the season goes to Sensi. I thought it might be DK for that goal in like the second to last day, but it ends up being Stefano Sensi, 22nd minute in the Champions League against Olympiacos. Let's see this. Match we absolutely dominated. Let's see the Sensi goal. Pedro Gonzalez, Sesko, Tabata. Where's Sensi at? All the way back there. I mean, that's goal of the season. It's a freaking P-roller. How is that goal of the season? DK's was 20 times as good. Reputation still hasn't changed. Not super surprising considering we only got to the first knockout round, but maybe it should be a little bit better. Sponsorship went up a little bit. Broadcast revenue went down by $10 million. I don't know why that's the case. Corporate hospitality went up a little bit. Obviously, competition prize money went down quite a bit. We only reached the quarterfinal or the first knockout round. Commercial retail went down by $0.01 million. Merchandise sales about $5 million. A lot of shirts sold. Sesko, top shirt sold, not surprising. Tabata up there. Nunez, Bergman Johannesson, and Sorloth. No real surprises there. Maybe Mateus Nunez. He's never been like a superstar for this team. You'd think Pedro Gonzalez would be on there over Mateus Nunez, or Ignacio even, but that's not the case. DK actually gets the nod at striker next to Sesko. He was really good. Santos gets the nod at attacking midfield. Other than that, it's the starting lineup. So nothing special there. Accolades, I won Manager of the Month. I won Manager of the Year. So that's nice. In terms of club awards, Fans Player of the Season, Benjamin Sesko. I think that's probably the right choice. Young Player of the Season, Sesko. Signing of the Season, Vistic. Would also agree with that. Goal of the season, we already saw. Top goal scorer, Sesko, 32 goals. Most assists, of course, Bruno Tabata, 14 assists. Player of the matches, Sesko. Highest average rating, Sesko, 7.8. Passes completed per 90, Mateus Nunez. As that advanced playmaker of 50 passes per 90, that's pretty good. Highest transfer fee paid. So Novicic was our most expensive player, $23 million. I think it's like $1 million more than we paid for Sesko. But to get a good goalkeeper anymore, you kind of have to spend. Portuguese Cup top goal scorer was Thiago Tomas. The young player of the year in the Portuguese Premier League was Benjamin Sesko. And the top goal scorer in the league was Alexander Sorloth. I didn't actually know that was the case. All right, I want to look at the top goal scorers and everything in the league. So, actually, no, it's Sesko. Sesko's the top goal scorer. I was going to say, that surprised me. Is that for the last? Sometimes it has that like for last year. Like, Sorloth got 15. Sesko got 28. Actually tied with Darwin Nunez, but he played fewer games. Quite a bit fewer as well. Assists, Nuno Santos is actually tied with Bruno Tabata with 9. Player of the matches, Sesko. Key passes, Tabata, Santos. Dribbles, nobody. Clean sheets, Vistic. Even though he didn't get, they have, the Portuguese goalkeeper of the season. He didn't get on there. Even though he's conceded the least per 90. He has the most clean sheets. And he has the best save percentage in the league. But apparently he's not good enough to get in the top 3 for goalkeeper of the year. Okay. Fewest conceded as well. I don't know. Alright, now stats for the Champions League. We're starting with the team stats. I'm not going to go through everything. Just the stuff I kind of care about. I don't care about possession, so I'm not even going to look. But, goals, that's pretty important. Third most goals, even though we only made it to the first knockout round. So that's actually pretty good. We did have to play 2 qualifiers, so that's part of it. But obviously the 2 teams that reached the final with the most goals. But we had more goals than both teams that reached the semifinal. And every team that reached the quarterfinal other than Manchester United and Liverpool. That's pretty good. Goals per game, 1.92. So, yeah, goals per game, like Real Madrid and Bayern were ahead of us. But we were still ahead of City, PSG, Tottenham. So, yeah, we actually scored pretty well. Expected goals, 21. And we scored how many? 23. So, not a whole lot more than expected. Did all right. Penalties, we had 1 penalty, and we scored it. Okay, what else do I care about? Many goals from corners in this. 2. Okay, not bad. Chances created, 5th with 41. What else? Dribbles. We're usually pretty good at dribbles. 6th with 118. Man City 186. That's crazy. Dribbles per game 20th. So yeah, maybe not as good as I'd like, but obviously we're like tops in the league. But the Champions League is another beast. Conceded. Obviously, most of these teams are teams that like went out in the first round. So we are 67th with 13 conceded. So same as Manchester United, who got to the final. So that's not ideal. I mean, a lot of it is we conceded 5 of those to Manchester United in the group stage. So, and just the one group game as well. Expected goals against. Not it. Wait, what might be? 13. How many did we actually concede? 13. So we conceded as many as expected. Interesting. Anything else? I don't know if there's really anything else I really care about. Like interceptions and all that, not really too fussed. I mean, salary per annum, let's see how we compare to everybody else. Obviously, we're going to be higher than all of these other teams, but, I mean, to the best, like, United and Liverpool, who are in it, 312 and 374. We are on, and then Bayern, who we lost to, 218. We're on 70. So, I mean, do I need to say more? Let's look at player stats. This is what I'm a little bit more worried about. I mean, which players stepped up, which players didn't step up. Average rating. Let's see how average rating looked for nobody. Okay. Goals. Who's our top goal scorer? Alexander Sorloth, actually. 6 goals. So Sesko might not have really performed in the Champions League, it looks like. He didn't get more than 5 goals. That's a little disappointing, so I feel like he played almost every single Champions League game. Erling Haaland, obviously a freak. Expected goals. Yeah. Sesko expected 7.6. He got 5 or less. Sorloth expected 4.39. Got 5. Got 6, even. So Sesko projected the second most goals in the Champions League, and he isn't even on the freaking sheet. So he pretty strongly underperformed, it looks like. Which I don't know if that's something that's gonna be is replicatable a word? I don't know. Something that he's gonna replicate in future seasons because he's been really good for us. So is it just a blip? I don't know. Team goals, don't care about assists. Anyone? Tabata, of course, 4 assists. Sesko actually got 4 assists, so he was a decent creator. Per 90, nobody. Key passes, I'm guessing Bruno Tabata. Yep. And Bergman Johannesson. That's good to see. Key passes per 90, Tabata. Chances created. Sorloth didn't get many key passes, but created a lot of good chances. Bergman Johannesson was 7 as well from left back. It's actually pretty good. Dribbles. Bergman Johannesson as well on 25 dribbles per 90. Nobody. Team conceded. I don't have anyone on tackles or key tackles. Maybe key headers. Inacio, 10 key headers. Ruan with 11. So, not bad. Interceptions, are we? Ruan, 45. Dude, Ruan seems to just really step up in the Champions League. He was good in the Champions League last year. And it looks like he was pretty good in the Champions League this year. Conceded. Hugo Sousa obviously conceded 2, but he only played 4. And those are all, qualifiers. We don't know how many that Snevistic conceded. Clean sheets, he had less than 3, or 3 or less. Conceded per 90. Hugo Sousa, obviously. 1 goal or more per 90. Expected goals conceded per 90. Okay, at least he didn't seriously underperform. Expected goals prevented. Yeah, we're just not on any of these. We'll see. We'll look at his actual stats after. Save percentage, at least? Under 80%. Wow. Considering Hugo Sousa was like the best goalkeeper in the Champions League last year, it's a little disappointing. All right, let's look at the team. Let's look at their actual Champions League stats for each individual. So Snevistic in the Champions League, 8 appearances, 11 conceded, 2 clean sheets, 6.93 average rating. I mean, it's not bad, especially considering 5 was in 1 game. So, I mean, if you take away that, he conceded, 6 in 7 starts? I don't mind that. I think Snevistic is fine. Ruan, looked like he played really well for us. 10 starts, 7.15 average rating. Considered last year he had a 7.11, so he's even getting better. Inacio, he actually had a pretty poor Champions League last year. This year, A little bit better, 7.01. Still not as good as Ruan's, but I think it was better than last year's. Actually, it was exactly the same, 7.01. Just good enough, basically. I still don't think we need to replace him. I still think he's a really good player, but Ruben Aguilar, see how he did. 10 starts, 7.33, 3 assists. Pretty good. Ruben Aguilar, the surprise of the series so far, probably. I did not know what to expect when we signed him, but he's been fantastic. Polina, 9 starts, 1 goal, 1 assist, 7.06. For a defensive midfielder, that is like Messi levels. Okay, maybe not that far. Pedro Gonzalez, 8 starts, 2 goals, no assists, 7.05. No one's really underperforming, it looks like. Maybe Mateus Nunes, because he's an advanced playmaker. 6.94. Did get 2 goals and 2 assists, though. So, like, I actually care more about that than I do the average rating. Because the average rating for attacking or for advanced playmakers just isn't good. Got a 7.02 in the league. It's actually one of his best for me. He was better than last year, which is important. Bruno Thiago, I feel like, struggled at points this season. How did he do in the Champions League? Really well. 4 goals, 4 assists, and 10 starts. 7.35 average rating. So far, I'm not seeing anyone that we obviously need to replace. All right, Sesko, yeah. 11 games, only 4 goals. But he did get 4 assists as well. His average rating was actually one of the best in the team. 7.45. Probably should have scored more than 4 and 11, though. We need him to score more than 4 and 11. I do think Sorloth stepped up a little bit. Obviously got 6, I think. 6 and 11, so a little bit better. Not quite the number of assists. The average rating not quite as good, but still pretty good. Look at some of the role players. Skyo played a little bit for us in the Champions League. 2 starts, 4 sub appearances. Not very good. 6.55. So I think that confirms. I already pretty much knew it, but I think that definitely confirms we need a starting right back. I'm not even going to look at Aguilar because he's leaving, so I don't care what his numbers were. Bragantia, I don't think played very much, if at all. He had 1 sub appearance, so not really going to look into that. He's going to be important next season, though. He's going to be our main backup left back unless something changes. Dyer, 3 starts, 5 sub appearances, 6.83. Yeah, fine. For defensive midfielder, that's kind of what I expected. Ugarte, 1 start, 5 sub appearances. Not very good, though. 6.67. That's why I got Sensi. So hopefully Sensi's been better. Because that's kind of why I bought him. 6 starts, 2 sub appearances. 2 goals, no assists, 6.9. It's a little disappointing. He did get the same amount of goals in the Champions League that he got in the league in far fewer starts and sub appearances. But I guess his actual play wasn't fantastic other than those goals. Santos was really good in the league, but he's historically been pretty bad in the Champions League. And he didn't kick up any rocks. 2 starts, 2 sub appearances, 1 assist, 6.8. Yeah. The bench player is not quite as good as I expected. How'd DK do? He's just a monster super sub. 2 starts, 5 sub appearances, got a goal and an assist. 7.25. So didn't get a whole lot of chances to show. Wow, that's actually crazy. Played the same amount of games but the last 2 years in the league. More starts this year, but he had the same amount of goals and actually 1 more assist. Average rating a little bit better. DK is just so good for a third striker. Another player kind of like Bergman Johannesson that I did not expect this from. Romagnoli, I will look at him even though he's not coming back, most likely. 3 starts, and he was not good. So, yeah, he's definitely not coming back. And anyone else that played significant minutes? Vinagre, another player that's leaving, but I'm curious. 2 starts, 3 sub appearances, 6.9. So nothing special. And Aguilar, 10 starts, 7.08. I'm going to miss Aguilar. 3 assists, 1 player of the match. He's just been solid every year. 7.15. Not a very good year this year in 2023. I think that's our first year in the Champions League. Didn't have the best campaign. Europa Conference League played pretty well. We'll have to find a starting right back, though. He is 33, so I don't hate that he's leaving. But we need to replace him. So in terms of the team for next year, I really don't think we need to make many changes. Obviously, we underperformed in the Champions League, but, I mean, Sesko, I think, was a large part of that. Didn't score as much as he probably should. But obviously, we don't need to replace Sesko. He's one of the best strikers in the game. And he's here for 8 years, and he's young still. He's massive. Like, I'm not going to get a better striker than Benjamin Sesko. So, we just need him to play better. And midfield, we never gotten, like, really good performances from anyone in the midfield, but they're all, like, between Gonzalez, Nunez, and Sensi, they've all got really good attributes. And I don't know if I could bring anyone that's better. And, I mean, they're all on pretty significant wages with pretty significant squad roles. So, yeah, I think it makes sense to at least give them another year. If they underperform again, I mean, I wouldn't say anyone's really underperformed other than maybe Cincy, but I thought Gonzalez and Nunez were fine. But they just aren't massive game changers. And maybe that's something we need from the midfield. Obviously, if there's like an obvious option available, I will sign him. I like, they're not just guaranteed nailed on no matter what. If like freaking Pogba's out there for 10K, like, okay, yeah, I might do that. But yeah, unless there's an obvious replacement, I think I'm going to keep with the midfield. Plania obviously was really good. Don't have any problems with him. Ruben Aguilar was fantastic. Ignacio and Ruan, I think, are very solid. And I'm curious to see how Ampadu is going to do in the Champions League next year. That's another thing we kind of need to look at is, that third center back that if one of these is having a poor game or a poor stretch, can come in and, play at a high level. I'm hoping Ampadu can be that guy. But if not, maybe next January, maybe next offseason, we might need to look to find that player. Obviously, we need a right back. Escaio has not been fantastic. He's not getting any younger, and you know what? He never played well in the Champions League really at all. So we need a dominant right back. I think that's something like a really, I don't know. It's hard because like Aguilar's been good, but he's not been like an ultimate game changer. Like he's just been a solid fullback, gets the odd assists, does well defensively. As a player, you just don't need to worry about. And now we need to worry about that position because he's going. And it's hard to find good right backs. I do have some options out there. I'll actually show them to you in a second, but the guys I'm looking at. And obviously, Novicic in goal, I think is fine. I thought he did okay. Like, obviously, he conceded 5 goals in the game, but we were down 2 men, so I can't really blame the goalkeeper for that. And in terms of backups, like, Bragança maybe is taking a little bit of a risk, playing him as, like, the main backup left back. But, it's another case, if I could find, like, an obvious guy to come in and play that role, I'm not going to not bring him in. But we also need another center back. We only have 3. Romagnoli's not coming back, so we need a 4th center back. Back goalkeeper, I'm fine. Escaio as a backup right back. I think he's okay. Like, he's homegrown at club, so I want to keep him here. He just signed a new deal. It's another kind of option if I find a really good backup as well, and I can afford him. I don't have endless money, but obvious answers are out there. I'm not against it. Sensi, I think, should be good. Hopefully, he has a bounce back year next year in terms of Champions League at least. Dyer is a fine defensive midfielder. Ugarte, I don't think we don't have the money to get a really good 4th midfielder right now. With all the other needs we have, we just don't have the money. So we're going to have to roll through Ugarte. Santos, another position, especially maybe next year we look to improve. He is 31 as well, so he's kind of getting to the end of his career, and he's never been great in the Champions League. So, but Tabata is usually good enough. We don't need him to, so that's not really a huge concern. And Tomas and DK, great. Like, our striker depth is so good. Like, so much so that, it feels bad not giving Tomas a lot of game time in terms of bench appearances. And, like, DK's been my main bench player because he's the one that seems to always come on and score. But Tomas has had a very good season in his own right. 9 goals in 7 starts in the league. He only made 3 sub appearances in the Champions League, didn't score or do anything, but in the league he was very good. So, yeah, I feel he's a little hard done by. Guilherme Santos is going to get quite a bit of game time next year, I think. He looks really good. He's 21 years old, 3-star for us. Still has a lot of potential. As that advanced playmaker or Mazzala or even an attacking midfielder, I think he can do a really good job there. The only problem I have with him playing deeper, like in that midfield role, is he just can't tackle. His marking's okay, but he just can't tackle. So it's a little bit of a concern, but I want to give him a lot of game time. In terms of the rest of the squad, I don't expect any of these guys to get much game time, really. Obviously, Vinagre is leaving. Marsa is going to be a 3rd left back option. Xavi Simons might get a little bit more involved with Bragança playing left back. But other than that, a lot of regions that still aren't quite there yet. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. So, now we've got a pretty big offseason ahead of us. These off-seasons have been pretty tough for me. Basically, every single off-season has been pretty tough. But I still feel like I've done a decent job bringing in some talent. Sorloth has been really good for us. Obviously, Sesko, probably the best signing we made. Ruben Aguilar, again, kind of a risk, but he really worked out. Ruan's been good. Navistic has been good. Cincy has had periods where he's been really good. Ampadu, still to be determined. And DK, again, another one of the surprises. He's been fantastic. So we know we can bring in good players, but it's so hard to tell how far away we really are. Obviously, last year we were within 2 goals from getting to a final, and this year we get knocked out in the first knockout round. So Europe especially is just so unpredictable that I don't know. I don't know exactly how much I need to improve. I don't know if I need to change anything to the tactic because it feels like it works. We just went unbeaten. So, but obviously, playing against Ferenc and playing against Bayern Munich is a little different. So, I'll take the offseason, have a think about it, hopefully bring in some good players. I'll see you for the start of next season. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials and my Twitch are in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.